Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists that it is completely possible to have a great career in the arts. And if you ever want to tune in and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just check out the schedule over at facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to episode 101 of the Artist Academy podcast. We have made it over the 2-digit hump and into the 3 digits. We have passed our 100th episode. And I'm just going to let you in on a little secret here. I meant to have a special 100 episode just wrap up and all the things happening and just have a special episode for you on episode 100. But we're going to do it on episode 101 because I have been so insanely busy because it is summer and that is peak mural season for me. And so now we're going to do it on episode 101. So now we have made it past the 100 episodes and we're going to take a look just really quickly. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I want to just go over our top 7 episodes of the whole podcast. So if you are new to this platform, just pay attention and maybe write it down, maybe take a screenshot of the notes section of this episode and take a note of all the top 7 episodes. This is ranked on most downloads, so this is not in particular my favorite ones, although some of them definitely are some of my favorite ones, but this is by download number. And these 7 had a significantly higher number than everybody else's, which is why I picked 7, because these 7 really stood out. So we're going to go over the top 7 episodes, and then, as you saw from the title, we're going to go over how I just made my most profitable month ever. Ever. I am so excited, which, it's another reason why we're doing episode 101 right now, because this past month has been insane. It's been so much fun and so profitable, which makes me happy. And I'm going to break it down for you. I've actually written down every single dollar that I've made in the last month and where it's come from, what niche happened, who was hiring me, and just everything. I wrote it down. That way I could dissect it and then throw it all up on you guys. So that's the best way I know how to explain it. And we're going to get into that in a second, but it's really cool just to write everything down and for me to visually see where my income is coming from. And it really surprised me and it really made me really happy too. So we're going to go into that. So those are the 2 main things we're going to talk about in this episode. But first, I just want to address the state of our nation right now. I don't think it would be proper to go ahead and do a celebratory 101 episode without just, addressing a little bit about what's going on with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And if some of you are tired of hearing about it, sorry, but we're just going to address it here really quick by saying that all Black lives most definitely 1000% matter. And if you are one of those people who is well, all lives matter, that means you don't get it. that means you're not understanding what's going on in the world and you need to reassess where you are. Yes, all lives matter, but we're not talking about you right now. We're not talking about any other minority or anything. We're talking about all Black Lives Matter right now. And I just actually flew back from Los Angeles, and it was a really cool time to be out there, because the whole big stretch on Hollywood Boulevard is painted. It's blocked off, and people went out there and painted all Black Lives Matter on the Hollywood Boulevard, and it's still blocked off right now. And it's just such a cool time to see everything happening right now, and just the movement and everything happening. At the same time, though, I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. I'm also going to throw it out there, because this is also real life. When I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, it is so incredibly sad to see all of those businesses boarded up, broken into. People's dreams are shattered because of things that are going on right now. And I know that a lot of people are like, that's not all of what's going on. You shouldn't highlight the bad. But I'm going to talk about it because that's real life for me. I went and saw all the good, and everything was all the lettering that was written down Hollywood Boulevard, and it's amazing to see everybody come together. And it's amazing, first off, to see firsthand brands representing Black women in their branding, and Black men and all that. But I've noticed specifically Black women showing up a lot more on Instagram with makeup and with fashion, especially. It's really cool to see, this movement really, triggering all of these brands to really be like, oh, we need to step up, and we need to represent an entire portion of the culture that is underrepresented. However, it's really freaking sad to see all of these businesses boarded up, and that it had to come to that. Anyway, so I tend to keep this podcast very much positive, art-centered, talking about art. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about even COVID, really. I didn't really talk about that, other than, ways to benefit from what's going on right now. I really, really, really believe that we should keep this art-centered and motivational and inspiring, but I just had to mention that right off. Of course, all Black lives matter, and while we're at it, all gay lives are completely equal. There's nothing wrong with being gay, and women are completely equal to men. So, if you're wondering where my stance is on that, that's where it is. So, okay. Now, let's get into it. You guys tuned in because you wanted to know how I created my most profitable month, and how you can too, and we're about to get into that. But first, we're going to go starting with episode number 7, so from 1 to 7, these are the most downloaded episodes of the last 100. I'm just going to say it again. We have done 100 episodes, and we're now on 101. So exciting. Episode number 7 is actually episode number 48. Increase your sales with 3-tier pricing. That is sitting at number 7 on the countdown. I feel like one of those music countdowns on the radio that's like, at number 7, we've got blah, 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 blah. And then you just go from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's basically how this is going to go. So increase your sales with 3-tier pricing. I highly recommend this one. Increase your sales with 3-tier pricing. It basically, in a nutshell, it just points out the 3 tiers of pricing in my business and why I highly recommend it. And just to briefly describe it, I have $7 mini prints. I have $100, $200, $300 large canvas prints. And then I have my originals and my murals, which can go up into the thousands. So what that does, it basically just lets you hit every customer base. So every customer's budget is completely different, and that is okay. They are at different points in their lives. Everybody has different jobs, and certain people can only afford a certain amount of art, right? Well, giving someone a $1,000 option and a $100 option and a $5 option, say those are the examples, you're hitting everyone. And so I highly encourage everybody to check out episode number 48, Increase Your Sales with 3-Tier Pricing. Okay, I'm so excited. Now on to number 6 on our countdown is episode 49. So it's right up from episode 48. So episode 49 is how to set up residual income systems in your art business. Basically, I use my $7 monthly print club as a example in that, and that I have people sign up, and it's a reoccurring charge. So I get money from them every single month, and it's a very low amount. And they, it takes someone who probably likely wouldn't be a customer or buy something for $100. If they're on my Print of the Month Club for 10 months, I'm getting $70 from them. And it's just way less of a hassle for them. And it keeps things going in your business. There are so many benefits on there that I can't even really remember, actually. But there are a lot, and that episode is packed full. So go to episode number 49, how to set up residual income systems in your art business. It's a good one, obviously, because it's on our top 7 list. Okay, now breaking into number 5 on our countdown. I'm just speeding through this, guys. It really annoys me when podcast episodes spend a whole episode talking about this. So I'm just going to give you little snippets. Okay, episode number 31 is sitting pretty at number 5 on this countdown, which is another solo episode. Actually, these are all solo episodes, which makes me really happy because I spend a lot of time on these solo episodes. So it's episode number 31, how to create and sell prints. La 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 la. This is one of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite topics, because I have created an entire tutorial over just creating prints. It was the first thing I ever created as an art educator, and it's called the Print Perfect Tutorial, and it's within the Artist Academy. So if you're one of my students, please go to the Artist Academy and seek out the Print Perfect Tutorial, and it's about a 2-hour walkthrough of everything you need to know through the printing process. How to print, ship, and sell prints. It's awesome. And it also kind of goes hand in hand with like setting up residual income systems in your art business, because it takes a little bit to get it going. But once you have the printing system set up, it's so easy. So easy. And I call it found money, because I work all day painting murals or working on commissions, and then I'll get an email in my inbox, an alert of somebody bought a print, and I'm like, cool, because I didn't have to really do anything today to earn that money. That's an extra $100 on top of what I'm already making doing murals that I just get to pocket, and all I do is forward that to my printer. They print it, I ship it. It takes almost no effort. It's amazing. If you've been thinking about setting up prints in your art business, I highly recommend episode number 31. It gives you a really, really great overall view of the printing system. You're welcome. Okay, moving on to number 4 on our countdown. This one is not a solo episode. This is Social Media Strategies with Lawrence White, episode number 53. This is actually Lawrence's second time appearing on the Artist Academy podcast. The first time, and he was actually one of the first ones early on. I think he was episode maybe like number 20 or something. And he was one of the episodes early on that asked to be on the podcast. And I was like, whoa, people want to be on my podcast? It's so cool. Now I get him quite often. But he was one of the first ones that was like, hey, I'd like to be interviewed. And I'm like, sure. Okay, you seem interesting. He's actually in London. He started with film. So he does a lot of the behind the camera work. And he is switching over to full-time artist, and we talk a lot about the social media strategies. We mentioned Gary Vee, and if you don't follow Gary Vaynerchuk, then you might want to check that one out because he's pretty great. So he's episode number 53, Social Media Strategies with Lawrence White, and we actually talk about TikTok in that one too. So if you like TikTok, go check it out. Okay, now we are into the top 3. Yeah, so Social Media Strategies with Lawrence White was number 4. I hope I said that. Okay, now we're into the top 3. I feel like we should do like a drum roll. That's a drum roll. Number 3 is another solo episode. Guys, you guys are making me blush. Number 62, how to beat the algorithm. So this is actually, I recorded a little snippet and put it on my Instagram, and this is one of my top videos on Instagram because I just give and give and give until you guys learn how to beat the algorithm, really, because dealing with a social media based business, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I go over all of them in this How to Beat the Algorithm number 62 episode. And we just talk about what an algorithm is, how to beat it, mostly how to make it work for you and with you. Treating the algorithm as your friend, not complaining that it isn't shooting your stuff out to every single person on the interwebs, because we are not spoiled, and we know that we need to work with the algorithm to, have it work with us. You need to feed it, and it'll throw you up and onto all the other people onto Instagram. Okay, I'm in a mood today. So, number 62, how to beat the algorithm. Go check it out. It is number 3 on our top 7 of the Artist Academy podcast. Okay, moving on to number 1 and number 2. Number 2. Another drum roll, please. Instagram tips to grow your art business with Kate Tova. I am so excited this is one of the top ones, mostly because Kate is just such a kind-hearted person. You can just hear it in her voice whenever she's speaking. It's like one of those people you meet and you're like, you're just a really good person to your core. And that's Kate. She has a great following. She has a great art base and just a great talent. And she does some really, really, really creative things with her art. And you just have got to check her out on Instagram. So just Kate Tova, Katetova. Just check her out on Instagram, or go listen to episode number 61, Instagram tips to grow your art business. We talk about Instagram and obviously, and just like things that Kate's doing inside her art business to grow, and how she just shows up just herself and people love it. So I highly recommend that. Now, we are on to number 1. This is the most downloaded episode of the entire podcast for the previous 100 episodes, and I am not at all surprised. Actually, when I was putting this together, I knew that this one was going to be in the top 5 at least, because she needs no introduction. Miss Maria Brophy. If you're not familiar with Maria Brophy's book, Art, Money, Success, she is the queen of art business. She leads the way for her husband, Drew Brophy's art career, and they are just stupid successful, living out in California. They have their own gallery. Now they're doing online art classes, Posca paint parties, which I was so happy to be a part of just a couple months ago. And just everything that Maria Brophy touches is just so legit. So number 1 is actually episode number 24, why you should never give up your copyright with Maria Brophy. She, like I mentioned, she's the queen of art business, but mostly art licensing. So she's really figured out with her husband Drew's art career how to license her and their art business, and to make money off of paintings that they've made, I mean, even years ago, and they're still making money off of it through prints. Like, you guys know how much I love prints, and just all of those things. So why you should never give up your copyright with Maria Brophy, episode number 24. You will love it. I know it. So that is the top 7, and I really like looking back at this, because going forward, every time we hit a milestone in anything, I'm like, okay, let's assess, let's go back and see what worked, and that way I can know what to do going forward. And so now I know you guys you want a mix of solo episodes and interviews, as I can see. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And going forward, though, I think I'm going to just get a little bit more specific with my guests on like the topics that they are geniuses in. Like everybody has their special thing to where someone's really doing really well on LinkedIn, or someone's doing really well with prints, or someone's just got this certain section of the mural market cornered. I'm going to really dive in and with my guests from now on what they are specialists at, and really just figure out how to dissect it and take it out of them, and so give it to you, so that way you can decide if going that route is good for your business, or if you just want to keep doing like you're doing. But I'm going to make the episodes a little bit more subject specific from now on, and So yeah, that's what I've also just learned from looking back. So if you are at any point in your art business, I really highly suggest you just go back, see what's working, and then double down on what's working and keep going. Which is exactly what I just did after having my most profitable month yet. So I profited $15,000 this past month, and that might be under what you thought I would make, and that might be more money than you can fathom making in a month. I don't know, but I'm just going to talk about this in my point of view because making $15,000 profit is really big for me. And, I've made over 10 in a month before. That's not super uncommon, but 15K is, I'm just patting myself on the back. I'm so excited, guys, because to me, making money, doing the thing I love, money is freedom. And, I'm just so thankful to be getting to doing what I'm doing for a living. And also, mind you, I'm also teaching half the time. And so it's just, I'm running my own art business and doing the podcast and teaching my students. And so making a 15K month out of my art business only is a really big deal. And so let's break it down. Okay. Obviously, I'm super happy about it, but how did I do it? You're like, okay, great for you. That's awesome. We see you're doing great all the time, but tell me how to do good. So I want to dissect it and basically tell you guys how you can also reach a monthly high goal in your art business and then reach another one and then reach another one, because next month is set to be very similar to this one. If it's not equal to it, I'll be surprised. So I should have two really good months in a row. And so how did I do it? So how did I make this 15K profit in a month? Well, I went through and I wrote down every single dollar that I made from every single client, and I put a little column next to it that says, like, what did I paint? And then I put a little column next to it was how much was it? And then another one of where I got this job. Like, how the heck did these people find me? And the answer is, I'm just going to go through my list right here, actually. So the majority of this came from photo op murals. So Instagrammable murals, wings, balloons, things that you can insert yourself into, and it benefits the business because the customer will come and take a photo with it and they will post it online. And they will tag the customer or the owner of the business, and it's marketing for that business. And just a backstory on this. This was not a thing. I had to beg people to let me do this for near free just 3 years ago. So I just started this Instagrammable art series thing. Like that was my thing. I was like, this, because I really, really, really believe in it. And I think that's a really core value that comes down with why I'm doing well in it, because I really, truly believe in social media marketing and photo op art in general, because people flock to murals, to bright colors on the side of the street, and to anything you can insert yourself in. The average person walking down will either seek it out or they'll just happen to stumble upon it, and they can't help themselves but to stand in front of these butterfly wings or grab onto these painted balloons and act like you're flying, or really anything. And so in the beginning, I had to talk people into this. I'm like, this is a good idea, trust me. But it took me doing a monarch butterfly mural on the side of a building for free to do it, and just to show people in Springfield, Missouri, just how effective this is. And nowadays, I'm getting people wanting that exact monarch butterfly or wings or butterfly wings in general all the time. And I'm like, okay, guys, let's get a little creative with it. Like, maybe let's add in some balloons. Let's do a little swing or something. Like, let's not just do what is working. Like, let's think of other things. But everybody wants that damn butterfly all the time. Every new client that I talk to, they're like, I would like butterfly wings, please. And I'm like, hey, let's not. There's already 10 of those in Springfield. Let's get a little creative. And so that is the conversation I'm having all the time. And like we just did one too. We just went up to Kansas City and painted for Spice and Foods, which is a hot sauce wholesale distributor. They make hot sauces, and they were like, hey, we don't know what we want, but we want you to create something awesome. And I was like, okay, great, because they wanted something photo op. And he found me on LinkedIn. So that is one of the first ones that I want to share with you about how these people are finding me. He found me on LinkedIn, and he hired me because I was posting other photo op murals. So this is just a perk of really niching down. I still do a lot of other things, logos and all the other stuff, but photo op murals is really where I'm trying to steer my niche into, and businesses take notice. Just specializing in something. I am a specialist in this because I live and breathe it every day. I'm always thinking up ideas. I have a folder full of ideas just waiting for the perfect wall. And so when Spice and Foods called, they're like, hey, this is what we do. And I was like, okay, let me think of an idea. And they shared with me, they're like, well, the owner was like, I've talked to 2 other artists before, 2 other local artists in Kansas City, and they just haven't given me anything that's wowed me. So no pressure. I was like, well, let me try. And so I really just went to the drawing board. I talked to my husband, and I'm like, okay, we gotta get a really good idea. And we came out with this idea of breathing fire. And so if you've seen it on my Instagram here lately, we did this one of breathing fire, and we put Spicing Up KC lettering right beside it, and it was a hit. Everybody loves it. So he obviously everything went great. But him hiring other artists and trying to figure out something specific for this, a lot of other artists have a really hard time thinking of, something to where someone has to insert themselves into the photo. That's a key element in this. And a lot of people don't really care about Instagram. There's a lot of artists who just don't care about Instagram, or don't get a lot of their business from Instagram or Facebook, so they don't want to think in terms of that. But I specialize in this, and so that's why I think I was able to create 2 murals for him that really wowed him, and that's why I got the job. So, but he found me on LinkedIn. How cool is that? Okay, another one, we went up to Iowa. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to save this one for last, because this goes into our mural meetup that I want to talk to you guys about. So hold on. Okay, so another one is I just flew out to LA to paint with a company that I can't even say who it's for yet, because they're launching in August a product, and I can't even say, and they wanted that exact butterfly that I painted here. They wanted the monarch butterfly, and they found me because they were searching on Google and Pinterest, and one of my photos came up, and they were like, that is perfect for their branding. And it is oddly perfect. I'll share with you when I can, but it is oddly perfect for their branding. And so they found me, they hired me, flew me out there, I painted, came back, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I was talking to them out there about more photo op art and stuff like that, and I'm maybe will be going back to paint more photo op street art in their offices. So they found me through Google. And, this really gave me, it really opened my eyes too, because they said that they found my photo on Google of an article that was shared, and they couldn't find me. So they saw someone else sharing my photo. They were like, we gotta find this girl. And they found me on a couple art featuring pages. So one of those art featuring pages that I tell you guys to go on Instagram all the time, that's how they nailed me down. And they saw me on there. They went to my Instagram account. They're like, found her. Okay, great. That also told me that I need to get my SEO together on my website, because if I'm not popping up monarch butterfly wings, there's something wrong. So if someone's not getting directly taken to my website, there's something wrong with that system. So this past week, I broke down and I was like, okay, I'm going to make my website more SEO friendly. And we went and added keywords everywhere, and now that's done. So if you want to be found on Google and you want it to be easy to contact you, make your website SEO friendly. That's how I found another one. Okay, and let's see, another one on here. So there were actually a group of 3 jobs that I've had in the past month, to where I did a photo op mural for them, and they found me because I've created a name for myself locally. And that's just the best way to put it, through, creating a brand locally of butterflies. I am the butterfly girl, and photo op street art girl, and really just going around and networking. And one of those, actually, no, yes, one of those, and then I actually got 2 more jobs from this same way, is I presented to a Rotary group in my area, and I've gotten now, I don't want to, okay, so I've gotten about 3 jobs. So 1 was last month, and 2 are upcoming. So I don't want to like count my cookies before they hatch or whatever. So, so I've gotten 3 jobs from this, and it's because I presented to a Rotary network. And what is that? I guarantee you have a Rotary in your city. Look it up, join it. There you go. You're networking. And that's really what's happened. How I've gotten a lot of these jobs is just through networking and creating a name for myself and doing a lot of photo op street art to, now finally in turn getting asked to do that. And if you would have told me 3 years ago that I would have had a 15K month from something that I was begging people to let me paint, I maybe would have believed you because I really believed in it, but I didn't think that it would be that expansive. I didn't think it would go over that well and have caught on this much. But I did believe in it, so I don't know that I wouldn't have believed you, but anyway. Okay, and let's see, another one of these, how I've made 15K in the last month is I got a brand deal off of TikTok. So this brand is paying me $500 for one video, and it is a very heavily branded video. It's very specific. I created a painting just for them, and they found me on TikTok. So TikTok is working, and so I just wanted to say that as well. Okay, now let's go into one of the most profitable jobs that I have gotten in the past month, which is this job up in Iowa. She found me on Thumbtack. So if you are not on thumbtack.com, please get on there, set up a profile. And it's funny because she found me on Thumbtack and then contacted me on Instagram. So she basically was like, "Hi, I just bought this building. I would love for you to come up and paint some Instagrammable murals. This is what I have." She sent me photos and all of that. She's like, "Oh, by the way, I found you on Thumbtack." I was like, "Oh, great. Amazing." So we sent stuff back and forth. We went up there and painted for her, and it was a very profitable job. And it was a very profitable job because when I got up there, it was going to cost a couple $1,000, and we did the job and she loved it. And then we were talking to the owner and she was like, "I really love your stuff, your wings. Maybe we should do some wings." And me and her really just were on the same level of rainbows and butterflies and all of those things. We have very similar tastes. So this is what I call just the perfect customer meeting the perfect client, and it just being a perfect mesh. We got up there, we were bouncing around ideas. We ended up painting a rainbow, some balloons, and just a bunch of calligraphy. And now we are going back. She kept adding on days and adding on projects, and I gladly accepted because I loved working with her, and everything went so well. And yeah, everything just went awesome. And so, but eventually we had to come back, and we have plans to now go back to Iowa on July 11th. And I think you know where we're going with this, but we are having now our first mural meetup, and I'm so excited. So it wasn't till we were on our way home, my husband and I were talking in the 7-hour car ride home, and it just dawned on me, and I was like, whoa, what if we do a meetup for the Artist Academy, and we all get together and they come and we're going to paint the most Instagrammable spot in the Midwest. Because, it's pretty dang close to being the most Instagrammable spot already, but we're basically going to double exactly what we went up there to do last month. And it's the exact same square footage, even actually maybe a little bit more. And we're just going to paint a ton of Instagram murals, lettering, just the whole bit. And I'm so excited. And so when we were on our way back, I was like, okay, this would be the perfect client to, mesh with the Artist Academy. And just because I know what she's about, I know what she expects. And so I ran the idea by her, and she's like, "Yeah, of course, I love it. Like, let's do it." And so, yeah, we set a date, and it's July 11th through the 18th. I think a lot of people are coming on like the 12th, 13th, 14th to come up and learn how to paint murals. This is absolutely perfect for you if you have never painted a mural before and you really, really want to, or you've painted a little bit and you want to, maybe learn a little bit more advanced techniques. And we even have really experienced muralists coming up. So Murals by Whitney is coming up from Houston. She's part of the group, and she's very experienced with murals, but she's coming mostly to hang out with everybody, meet everybody, get to paint, and I'm so excited. I'm actually going to see if she wants to teach a little bit because she's just that good. But the majority of people are going to be people who have never painted a mural before in their life, and they really want to learn just everything about it. And I'm going to teach you everything I know. So basically, we're going to go and we're going to teach everybody how to use the professional grade sprayer, and we're going to spray the whole building a base coat with all these different colors. We got pinks and blacks and whites and blues and rainbows and all these different colors. Everybody's hand is going to touch that professional grade sprayer so that they understand how to set it up, how to clean it, how to spray, and it's also it's very satisfying spraying the side of a building. And that way, it's mostly because when someone gets hired to do this in the future, I don't want you guys to have a deer in headlights look. I want you to be like, oh yes, I've done that before. I might need a little bit of a refresher on how to use that, but I have sprayed a building before, and so I'm not terrified of it. And that is my goal with everybody. I'm going to have everybody learn how to use a professional grade sprayer, and then we're going to project and chalk outline everything. Then I'm going to teach you guys how to do lettering, and this is all on the side of a building that is like corrugated metal, so I'm going to teach you how to do that. And so, which painting on corrugated metal, it kind of reminds me like when I was in like elementary and middle school, high school, my mom used to make me dribble on gravel, because she was like, if you can dribble on gravel, you can dribble on a court just fine. And so if you can paint on a corrugated metal, you'll be able to paint on a flat wall just fine. So we're really just showing you guys how to do the basics and the experience techniques. I'm going to walk you guys through everything, and then we're going to do a varnish top coat, and I'm going to go through everything. And I want you guys to walk away with just feeling like, okay, I kind of have a pretty good feel of this. I think I can do it on my own. And, you might need a little bit of a refresher if somebody wants to message me, 6 months down the road and be like, hey, I kind of forgot how to do this. Can you let me know? And I'll be like, oh, you just do this and that. And just by me explaining it, you're going to be like, oh, now I remember. Like that is my goal. I want to be able to get everybody's hands dirty. Everybody's touching a paintbrush, and everybody is going to touch at least a little bit of each wall. And you guys are going to get photos and video for your website so that when clients go to hire you in the future, they'll see what you can do. Because, if I'm teaching you to be able to do this, you might not have painted the whole thing, but you're going to have a really good understanding of how to do it. That way, when somebody asks for it in the future, it's no big deal and you're going to be good to go. So this is going to be an all-inclusive, really, really highly awesome experience of how to paint a mural, and I am so excited. And I'm excited to teach you guys and like show you guys the technical stuff and all of that. However, I'm also very excited just to meet everybody, because there are people who've been in the Artist Academy with me for over a year that I'm finally going to get to meet in person. We've done the live calls, we've done the comment on each other's stuff a lot, but just being able to meet somebody in person, I am so excited to meet you guys. So you have, I would like to have everybody signed up by July 1st. If you are a student, okay, well, not if, but you have to be a student in order to come to this. And I will have a short training video, basically just giving you a little bit more of a briefing than I already did. It'll just show you, what we're doing, how we came up with the concept, and just literally all the behind the scenes things, so that whenever you come, you feel ready to go and you know what to bring. I'm going to provide gloves and paint and paintbrushes and everything, but you know what to wear, what to expect, what hours of the day we're going to be working and why, and just all the things. So I'm going to provide a short video for you inside the Artist Academy just to get you up to speed. That way when everybody gets there, we can just hit the ground running and go. Also, by the way, Sioux City, Iowa is where you would fly into, Sioux City, Iowa. And my husband will pick you up from the airport and bring you to our mural meetup. The hotel room is on me, and yeah, so I'm so excited. So with this whole thing too, I struggled with it a little bit because I was like, okay, complete transparency for you guys. I was like, option one is I could go back up there with my husband by ourselves, just like we did. We spent a week up there, had a blast. This is a really cool town, and he, so much so that he wants to come back because it's the ice cream capital of the world. And anyway, there's a lot of really cool perks to this town. There are murals everywhere. So option one I could, this is an awesome client. This is a really good paid job. We could go up there and knock it out. No worries. Come back, keep 100% of the profit for myself. Option two is to give up some of that profit and spend it on hotel rooms for my Artist Academy students so that you guys can come and learn and it's not too much of an expense on you, and all you have to figure out is how to get there, and I'll take care of the rest. That is option two, and that's what we're going with. But at first I was like, am I sure I want to do this? And I am sure because the Artist Academy is going to be something that I'm going to be doing for years to come. I truly believe in educating other artists. I think it is silly when other artists, just keep all their secrets to themselves and, don't show the next generation what to do, or not even the next generation. A lot of people are older than I am. But I want to help educate other artists so that you can go back to your hometowns and, be able to create street art and murals and make a name for yourself in your hometown. Because that's how I'm getting a lot of my jobs, is just making a name for myself in my hometown and just doing all of the things that muralists do that not a lot of people realize we do. And I'm going to bring you to Iowa and show you everything I do. I'm an open book, and that way you can go home and do it in your hometown or wherever you want, really. And you guys are going to have the experience to, decide if murals is where you want to go with it, or be like, okay, that was cool, but I'd rather hang out in my studio. Either one. But I bet you're going to really love street art. So, yeah, that's basically all I had for this. So it's funny, I'm actually covered in paint right now, recording this, because we just got through with a art photo shoot and we just put paint everywhere, literally it's all over my face. So I'm about to go shower and then this is it. So what you've gotten from this. So the top 7 episodes, they're also listed in the notes section. Just screenshot that. Basically, go listen to Maria Brophy's episode number 24. And how I've gotten jobs is I got $500 off TikTok and then several off Instagram. The majority of it, though, is creating a name for myself locally. So networking, branding, and just doing street art locally to get my name out. And that's why we're doing a mural meetup, so that you can do street art and you can do that too. And then also I have got a job from LinkedIn and got a job from Thumbtack. So there you go. Go get on Thumbtack, go get on LinkedIn, start creating a name for yourself. And if you want to learn how to paint murals, come join me in Iowa. Just send me a direct message and I will let you know all of the other details and help you get hooked up. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you on episode 102. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time 6-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own 6-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So, if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am at Art by Andrea Earhart. I will then promote your art on my story and tag you as a little thank you for helping me grow this podcast and our Artist Academy community. I have a reach of over 50,000 on Instagram, so this is a little help me to help you incentive. Also, if you ever want your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy to check out the schedule every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you next week.